Right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to the Design Dialogue. Hope everyone is great and have a wonderful morning, day, night. And yeah, welcome. This is our first episode where we talk with professionals across the globe about design related topics. My name is Alex, and I'm the host of today's episode. I'm a product designer and mentor based in London with over 8 years of experience in UX UI field. And my guest for today is Natalia Treskova, who is a senior product designer and FinTech startup Vivid Money. We'll be talking about the role of a product designer. Hello, Natalia. Here she is. Welcome.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Alex, for inviting me. Very nice of you.
Yeah, welcome. How are you? How are you doing today?
Actually, I'm great. I've just been working and on my tasks at Money, as you already said. And at the moment, I'm happy to share my experience with aspiring designers.
Great, that's awesome. Let's start with a short intro about yourself, about your career. Last few
Yes,
words.
sure. I've been working in product design for about 8 years. Currently, I am senior product designer at Vivid Money. Vivid Money is a Berlin-based FinTech startup. We're a super app. We have B2B, B2C, and a lot of lifestyle services, cashbacks, crypto investments, a lot of FinTech stuff in Vivid Money. It was kind of a promo of Vivid occasional. Previously, I used to work in Alpha Bank. It's a large commercial bank in Russia. I worked in B2B apartment, so I was involved in all B2B design activities. It was also very cool. I think it's pretty it about me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds really great, and looks like you're quite a while in this field. Do you remember when the product design had started? Like how it was, I don't know, 8 years ago or even more, when we first started using this term like product design?
Oh, actually, it was so cute 8 years ago. And now, when the product design is so mature and it is so popular, it's really nice to remember the first times when it just started to appear in tech. And it was a very strange type of design, and nobody really understood what's happening because there were a lot of graphic designers, there were a lot of design studios, and probably some UX research studios, but the product designer was a very rare role. And I think that not many companies really understood why they needed product designers, as designers were more like arty people who didn't know anything about money, about metrics, about users, and who were all about the graphics. And the time was really nice, and I think that product design was a very young sphere, young tech sphere. Maybe we're happy that we have the opportunity to see such a young tech sphere in our lives.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was a graphic designer at that time as well, and
Me
I
too.
remember where we there were graphic designers and web designers. I think it was the most like closely related field to the product design, and then like interface designers started to appear on the market, and I was like, wow, that's something interesting. I'd like to try it. So yeah, could you share your journey into product design and yeah, what inspired you 8 years ago to start new career in product design UX UI field?
I will start with my university degree. I used to study mathematics at university, fundamental mathematics, so kind of scientific mathematics. And before it, when I was studying at school, I was more like an arty person who spent a lot of time drawing and painting, and I was thinking about going to an art university. But when I grew a bit more, when I was 15 or 16 years old, I decided that no, I think it's too hard. I don't I'm not sure that I will not die without money one day. So I decided to study something um, more, I don't know, with perspectives, with
More modern.
more just normal. And I studied mathematics at school after drawing and painting, and I got this mathematics degree. But when I started to work as an analyst and as a kind of developer, half analyst, half developer, I felt that I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not so fond of mathematics. I'm really very grateful to my university because after 5 years of studying mathematics, you have this logical kind of mindset which you never get rid of. And with this mindset, you always can build logic inside everything. So there is no flow, no user flow, no business flow where I don't see logic. I see it, it's my just default mode. But however, I didn't want to spend my life working at a work I wasn't enjoying. So I was looking around, and I remembered that my main hobby was drawing and painting. So I wanted to find something which contained some visual activities, and it was design. And well, like you, I used to work as a graphic designer and as a web designer, and I also used to work as a UX researcher. So I was looking for myself in all of these spheres. And then accidentally, I just found myself inside product design. I guess it was UX design at the time because product design is more mature, in my opinion, than UX design. And I just found myself there. I was thinking about it. How did I choose it? I don't think that I chose it, that I chose it for real, because it was more like a feeling that you need to go somewhere where there is so much unknown and so much new, and nobody knows what this profession is about. And it was so interesting. So I wasn't analyzing about the names of these professions, the type of this design. I was just doing some new things and was enjoying the whole process of all of us, people like me, designers like me, were creating this profession, I guess. And it was probably the most inspiring part about choosing product design as the profession.
Yeah, that sounds really great. It reminds me, I think it's a good example when a want chooses a wizard. So that's really so. Because yes, for me, I started as a fashion designer because I wanted to draw, I wanted to use my creativity and yeah, create something. And I don't know why, but I decided that fashion design is something that I was like, but it was wrong. And then I moved to graphic design because it was quite close when I need still draw something, create something. And then I realized that we can move forward to product design. And yeah, it's something new, something fresh.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's great. Have you seen the role of product design evolving over the last 8 years? And yeah, any thoughts about this evolution of product design where you just started and product design now?
Yeah, sure. I think that the product design role in a company, it just was being invented maybe 10 years ago, or even less. And now it is such a popular profession, and there are so many online courses which help you to learn product design. They're mature now, and which are not know-how at the moment, and which are not considered as an innovation. They're just you need to know how it works. It doesn't your default feature. And like UX tests, usability tests, and empathy, and a lot of things which we have been discussing all these years. And so if 8 years ago, if you were talking about empathy, you would be an innovator. Now, well, you're cool. It's nice.
Yes.
it's good. Keep on doing it. But it's more about going deeper inside the profession and exploring different sides. But I think that the profession is much more interesting at the moment, and probably even at the very moment we're looking for new creativity opportunities for the profession, as we have discussed a lot of things like I've just listed them. But I believe that throughout these 8 years, we forgot a bit about UI, because we're talking about UX a lot, and we're talking about business metrics and all these things. And web designers and graphic designers, they were considered a bit like they don't know about UX anything. But I believe that at the moment we're looking for new ways of producing creativity in UI, and probably new ways in combining different tasks and different skills inside one profession. So again, probably something interesting is happening right now at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. And it looks like we're on the edge, and something interesting will be happening within next years for sure in the industry. And we've got first question in our chat. It's so I will read it. I notice there's often quite a bit of confusion surrounding the definition of this role. Sometimes it's perceived an expert in UX, UI, digital product design, while at other times it includes a skill related to analyzing product performance data, defining product growth metrics, etc. What your thoughts on this? Quite an interesting one. What do you think, Natalia?
It's really interesting question. Thank you for it very much. I have been thinking about it and the definition of the profession, and I believe that we're so much focused on the definitions and on the attempts to create standards for everyone and to make this profession perfectly described. And probably it's not possible. I have been thinking about it a lot, so it's not an answer like I don't know, I don't care. But I think that there are so many anticipations when we talk about product designers, and in different companies, in startups, in enterprises, in B2B, in B2C, developers, analysts, product managers, users. So many people, they're anticipating a lot from us, and they're waiting from us all these skills of, I don't know, writing code, writing text, writing creative. And probably we from trying to define the limits of the profession, and from these attempts to make everyone happy around us, and to exploring what we as product designers can bring to the table. Because if we talk about global tech, not just product design, not just our team or our companies, a lot of things are happening at tech right now. Like AI and ChatGPT and layoffs and a lot of things. It's changing at the moment. And probably we should think more about these changes than about should we be experts in UX, UI, graphics, I don't know, metrics, performance, and all these things. So I would switch my focus to that path.
Yeah, that's true. That's really good thoughts. And in addition to this, I think that it very depends on the company and business specific, because sometimes when you join a startup, you need to create an outstanding UI, and you still don't have like enough customers to do a lot of research and talk to them. So you can just put a product on the market. But sometimes when there is a product, an already existing product, you need to think more about growth metrics, how to acquire new customers, how to onboard them, how to increase other growth metrics, and so on. So yeah, it it really depends, and it doesn't mean that designers should know like everything. Designers could have different specialization, different, like for example, designers with stronger UX or designers with stronger UI or analytic skills and so on. But yeah, that's a really good question. Thanks for asking this. And talking about responsibilities in your own words, how do you think what defines a product designer role in a modern team?
Well, I think there is a basic set of skills you need to obtain. You need to be good enough in designing user flows, so it's more about UX. You need to be, again, good enough. I'm saying good enough, it's not an accident. I'm saying good enough in UI, so your designs, your user flows with probably perfect UX, they should be visually attractive, and people should be delighted to use them. Then I think that designers need to be actively empathetic towards users. What it means not just talking about empathy. Like testing is more about actions, like testing, like reading reviews, watching videos on YouTube about your product, monitoring the App Store with your app, and gathering this information and asking people and listening what they talk about when they talk about your product. So it's about empathy and thinking about people and talking and communicating to them. And also, I think that probably the most important skill at the moment is to be more involved in business issues. We have been talking so much about empathy towards users, and we talk about it all the time. But we don't talk so much about empathy toward the business you work for. But these people, your colleagues and your company, they also need your empathy. If you care only about users and you don't care about your software engineers, who probably will spend a lot of times on your solution, which you are not even sure about, or if you don't think about the business, which needs to earn money, it's not an option. Especially in your work in startup, you need to think about it. And I think that designers sometimes don't think about all these business things, but they definitely should take it into account. So yes, this UX, UI, empathy, users, and businesses. I think that's the basic set. And if you enjoy other things, for example, if you enjoy providing UX tests, if you want to write code, if you want to communicate more, to collaborate more with product managers and analysts, go on. It's fantastic. It's super cool. But there's a basic set, and you just can't skip any of variables inside this set.
Yeah, that's true. I really loved your thoughts about empathy towards business, because it's something, I would say it's something new, because I haven't heard about this a lot. I see that nowadays people are talking about empathy. Even some startup founders are talking about empathy. The other day I came across an article. It was about from a startup founder, and he mentioned how empathy is important to start the business, to start something new. And empathy towards business, it's really great. It's something product designers should consider, I believe.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now we're going closer to one tricky question about the most common misconceptions about what product designers should know and do and what they shouldn't. Because what I see on the market as well, that there are a lot of demands from product designers, a lot of responsibilities, and sometimes, especially from some job descriptions, for example, it seems that product designer should know everything, a ton of stuff. Like product designer should be an engineer, should be a product manager, should be sometimes even a business owner or stakeholder. And sometimes it sounds really crazy. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
I think that the main misconception is, well, what you're talking about. It's that the product designer should be able to do everything as an expert at any moment. And I believe that one person can't do all these things perfectly, because all of us, we have our individual features. We're not the same, and we can bring our individual features and individual skills and our strengths that are specific for ourselves to the table, but only if we're valued for these strengths. If someone is looking for a designer with 10 years experience, who is great in UI, UX, testing, I don't know, business, who has worked in startup, in enterprise, in growth, in FinTech, in food tech, in all of these things, I just, when I see it, I think, who are you looking about? Do you even know who are you looking about? What task will this person, what task is this person is supposed to do in your company? Do you really need this person? Will this person be interested in working in your company if they can do so many things? Can you offer something interesting to this person? And is that I would better look for a designer. When I think when we look for a designer in the company, we'll look for a designer for a specific team or for a specific product, and we always know what the product needs, because some products they're complex and they need more logical designers. Some are not very complex, but they're more emotional, and maybe they need more visual-oriented designer. And I believe that the best we can do is to understand what our product needs at the moment, what this job position needs at the moment, what it is about, and to look for the strengths, to look for the main features, to look for not for everything, but for the specific requirements of this position. And it will, I believe, help us to create more innovative and creative businesses.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. We're talking a lot about different responsibilities and what should we know, what should we learn, and we're receiving a lot of questions about the future. So I think we should start this topic now. And yeah, what do you think the future of product design could be? Anton asked this question.
Oh, thank you. It's a tricky question, Anton. To be honest, I don't know, but I believe that something is changing at the moment. And I believe that we say it every year when something new appears in product design. We always say that these robots will replace us, AI will replace us, design systems will replace us, and all these things will replace us. Maybe they haven't done it yet. They could have done. Design systems at least haven't replaced us like us. But I believe that AI will change our sphere, to be honest, because I've seen so many examples of AI doing these generic and routine tasks then weren't so much about design, but they were more about text and information, like filtering or analysis. It's not about design, but I believe that it will change our lives. Maybe not today, but I guess not in 10 years. I think it will be early. So I think if we want to be involved in these tech changes, we need to adapt to this reality. And in my opinion, the best thing we can do is to learn a bit of business and entrepreneurship mindset. And because it is creative, it is 1%, 100% creative. And if we want to be in this tech industry, which is really amazing, we need to think about the creativity and what unique, what personal, what from our own individuals we can bring to this tech, to the tech professions. So I guess that if we want to have jobs in 10 years, we need to think about more about the business sides of the products.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think I agree with you, we should adapt to all this new technology. We should
Yes.
start using this because, well, AI will not replace product designers unless product designers don't use AI. Because I believe that this is a very powerful tool. We all can see nowadays what it can do on the market everywhere in different fields, from customer support to travel industry and all others. It can do very powerful things. And also, I think as designers, we should use it. We have to use it. And answering the question, what should we do in the next 5 years? How should we prepare as UX product designers? We should learn new skills we didn't know before. It doesn't mean that we should become like a superheroes and to know like everything, because some skills will be automated, some routine tasks will be automated. Like, for example, nowadays I'm using ChatGPT to summarize my customer interviews or find insights from these interviews, or I can quickly, through a recorded customer interview, I can quickly find keywords and I can quickly create a summary of this. So we can automate a lot of routine tasks we do currently manually, and I think we will free this space to learn something new. And what Natalia said about creativity and internship, how to more of a business side, I believe it will be very, very beneficial.
And I wanted to add it one thing. We're talking about the profession of product designers because we're currently product designers. But 10 years ago, many of us were graphic designers and web designers, so
Yeah.
mathematicians or kind of that. And we have changed our professions because we found something more attractive, because product design and UX design was so cool, and it was so cool, and it was so new. And who knows, maybe in 5 years some new design professions will appear. Maybe in 5 years product design will be like graphic design 10 years ago, and we will switch to something new. So my main idea is not to chase the names of the professions, but to chase the soul of the processes. If you like innovations, if you like something new, if you like to create and to be a part of something new, maybe it will have another name, and it's absolutely okay, because I believe nobody forces us to be product designers for the whole life. The main thing about us is not the name of the profession in LinkedIn. It's our strive for creativity and for innovations. And if profession with another name will offer it, I think I will not um, will not skip it.
Yeah, true. It just names, just words, and yeah, maybe in 10 years we all will speak different languages. I don't
Designers.
know. Who knows? Yeah,
From
designer, yeah, invented language.
higher designers, yes.
Cool. Yeah, it was really fun to think about the future, and also I think it's very hard to answer for sure what it will be like, because even 2 years ago, I think we couldn't imagine that we're using AI everywhere as we use nowadays. So it's so hard to say what will happen within next year, next 2 years. Maybe some completely new technologies will be invented, and yeah, everything will be changed. Yesterday I read this news that Elon Musk finally added this microchip inside human's brain. So who knows what will happen? All right, going back to our reality and what product designers do now with powerful tools in different companies, different startups. Could you describe your typical day as a life of product designer in Vivid Money?
Well, I believe that in Vivid Money, I don't have really typical days because we're a startup and we're launching so many products. And I will try to imagine the average typical day in Vivid Money and Alpha Bank and all of this. I believe that the typical day includes several things, like daily stand-up sync with the product team, where we discuss our current tasks for today, current statuses, and whether someone has questions, we discuss them, and just know what's happening at the moment. Then usually I have one more thing inside the day. It's the sync with the team again, probably. If we have this weekly PBR or grooming or a meeting where we have 1 hour to discuss in details current tasks. And when we create this action plan for software engineers and product managers and everyone in the team, and decide when we are going to launch something, what we need to launch, what we need to know to launch, and so on. All this work stuff. And usually the rest of the days it's about tasks. So it's about creating something in Figma. We can talk a lot. You can have a lot of things per day, but at the end of the day, you need to open the Figma file and create these layouts. So I just love these days when I have several hours when I can sit in my Figma and create some layouts and look at these variants and these flows and thinking about how should it look, how should it work. Maybe I will try this or that. And when I look for some references in Google or at some websites, when I download our apps to see how it works in other apps or see our websites to check how it works at other websites. And sometimes we have UX tests. For example, tomorrow I'm having 2 UX tests with my product manager, and we're going to check to see how a user uses our new feature in the app, which we have been working on. And we want to these talks, and I'll spend some time writing them in Notion and keeping some documentation. I think that's a day. That's a perfect day, actually. As you see, there was nothing exceptional and outstanding in this day, but it's just nice routine, cool work as a designer when you are inside this flow, generating some ideas, and I really love these days.
Yeah, it seems like it's your favorite part of the design job. Yeah, and it seems at the same time that as product designers, we have lots of meetings, lots of things. And yeah, I think this is a problem we have everywhere, because when I just became a product designer and I was thinking, well, I have a lot of meetings, maybe it's just because like it's happening in our current company. But when I changed company, again, I can see that there are a lot of meetings everywhere. But what we can do, we can just find some focus time, we can find some non-meetings day and so on. We need to find time to open our figures. Otherwise, we're not product designers. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes we can spend like weeks creating something, ideating something without opening Figma and creating like real layouts, because it really depends on the business, on the company. There are a lot of different scenarios on the market.
Yes.
You already mentioned other roles like engineers, product managers you work with. How do you collaborate with them? How that happen in your projects?
Well, I think I'm kind of curious person, and I like to understand what's happening everywhere. So probably it's not curious. Maybe I'm a control freak. I don't know, but I really need to understand how everything works. I just can't live with something happening as magic. So I try to understand what backend engineers, for example, want from me, why they want it, how these processes work deep inside the product, and I try to keep it in mind. I usually communicate with product managers and with analysts and front-end engineers because we have a lot of common tasks and we need to think a lot. And I try to build transparent processes for everyone. I believe that there is a fame around product design when in product companies some people think that design it is so mysterious. It is so you can judge it because you're not designer, so you can judge it. You can say that you don't like something. And I really know people who say, product managers even, who say, I'm not a designer, so I just can't say what I don't like in their design. But I can bring you an ocean with my requirements and look at you with sad eyes, hoping that you will understand that I don't like something. So my position is that we all should be open, and as a designer, I'm responsible for the quality of the design. It's always my responsibility, but I admire all kinds of feedback. The designs, they're not for other users, which are outside the company. They are for all users. And the software engineer and the product manager, they also can be the users of our product. And I admire, I'm sorry, there was an update on my laptop, and I admire all kinds of feedbacks from them. So I try to be this kind of person who they're not afraid to come to give the feedback, which is not always like you're the best designer of my life. Sometimes it's I don't understand the screen. It's absolutely okay, and we'll discuss it. And it's about empathy again. Empathy towards your colleagues, not towards your users you have never seen in your life probably, but towards your colleagues, which you communicate to every day. And in my opinion, it is it's also very important, maybe even more important, because it's more real to me, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have any tips how to improve the level of collaboration with your colleagues and how to increase this empathy towards your colleagues, especially if there are, like, I don't know, engineers who don't want to talk to designers a lot and they just want to code something?
You know, maybe I'm like a person, but the engineers, my engineers, but my engineers, they want to talk actually about design. Sometimes they don't know how to do it, and probably they are a bit frustrated at the moment. But if you say to them that it's absolutely okay, that you like it, that please tell me what you want to say, they will talk to you, and it's more about talking to people, not waiting for them to understand what you wanted to say. But if you want your teammates to participate more in creating the designs, or if you want to gather more feedback on daily basis, for me the best way, I haven't found any better ways, is to talk to people. Just say, I need to know, I want to know your feedback, I want to know your opinion, I'm interested. I'm creating design for people, not for some user, some abstract people, but for all people. And you are a person, so you match this requirement. Um, so talking is the key.
Yeah, absolutely agree that being open-minded, talking to people, asking for feedback, and receiving this feedback in a smart way, I would say, because sometimes people could be offended by feedback. But when we receive feedback as designers, we don't receive feedback on our personality. We usually receive feedback on our work, on the product, on the project, on the designs, layouts we're working on. So it's not something about us as humans. It's more about the job. So we should be open to this feedback. And if someone, engineer, product manager, someone else saying that it doesn't look right, it doesn't work right because of this and that, we should talk about this. We should communicate this. We shouldn't go away and cry that we ruined everything. We just need to talk to people and find a better solution.
Yes, I believe that gathering and receiving feedback, it's not about you're listening to another person. They say to you that they don't like the screen, for example, change it, and you go and change. No, it would be crazy. You gather the feedback and you need time to think about this feedback, to analyze it, to analyze other feedbacks you also have gathered, and only after that you can make some conclusions. I believe that designer is not someone who just gathers free feedback from everyone, from business, from users, from colleagues, and then creates something that all people like. And I just believe it won't work. I think that our task and our mission as designers is to bring something new to the table, something unique, something maybe some critique. And you don't have to agree with everyone, but you need to listen to people. But maybe you won't agree, so that's the difference.
Yeah, great. I think we have one interesting question. I will read it aloud. It's interesting how transparent your approach is, but have you ever had a team that is not as transparent and approachable? How did you tackle it? Especially within a very diverse that work together, but based in different countries and different cultures. Thank you. So it's a really good question. What do you think about it? Because it's very easy to talk that we should be open, but sometimes we could have like different reality.
Yes, I would say that for example, I used to work with several software engineers, which were, well, for me, kind of rude. So when they gave me feedback, it was super rude, actually. But they were super cool software engineers, and I understood it. So I knew that they will create great apps. I don't need to do a design review. I'm talking about front-end engineers, and they are great. They're really great professionals. But for me, their style of communication, it is too straightforward. I just can't do it. But I was always thinking that it's not about it's not about us as people, as personalities. It's about us as colleagues, and I want to get some result. So I was not offended, but I didn't like it because it's always more comfortable when you talk to someone cute who is creating great code and you're best friends. It's really cool. I advise it to everyone, but even if it doesn't happen, you still can remain colleagues. But I also used to work with a person who was not was cute, but I didn't like the result of our collaboration. So we didn't have any problems in communication, but I didn't like the result. And for me, it's more tricky situation because you can't make another person work better. Everyone has its priorities. Not everyone is obsessed with the quality, and all people are different. I really don't want to judge, but when I was in that situation and it was difficult for me, I just decided that I can't work with this person. And at that moment, I don't remember, maybe I switched the team, or maybe something happened and we could stop working with each other. But it was the one option, actually. It couldn't be fixed. And I think if you work in a team which you are 100% sure it doesn't suit you, and you don't have this chemistry, and I really believe that some chemistry should exist. It's not a professional term, but terminology, but I believe in it. So maybe it's better to change something, because you can't make other adults behave like you want. They have their own priorities. They're from different cultures. Maybe they are closed or open, or maybe it's absolutely okay the way they communicate with you in their countries, in their cultures. But you can change them. They have chosen their life paths, and that's okay. And if you want to be happier, maybe it's better to think about some options.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing this. And in addition, I have some thoughts that as product designers in product team, I don't want to offend engineers or product managers, but as product designers, we have this power of creativity. I would say we are the most creative people in the team. And we have this power to unite people, to inspire people, to use our curiosity and creativity to make something cool inside our team. So, for example, if we work in a team and we don't have like any workshop, if everyone is very closed and engineers, they don't share the feedback, product manager, again, it's hard to get him or her to get feedback. I think as designers, we should turn on our creativity and to think, what can we do here? Can we create a funny workshop? Can we invite people and can we have like some funny rituals on our daily stand-ups? Or can we have something, can we make something differently in our collaboration to try to change it? Because as you mentioned, yeah, people in different countries, in different cultures, they have different mentality, and we don't have power to affect it. And I would say we don't have rights to change this. We just need to accept it. We need to respect it, understand how do people work, and try to find approach. If it happened that we work with very diverse team, we just need to find an approach to these people and find a way, what is the best way to collaborate with them, because it's not about our humans relationships, it's more about the product we're building together.
Yes, absolutely. And if it can be fixed, I'm still here to
Yeah.
say it, you always can leave.
Yeah, don't burn out, just leave when you can't fix things.
Yes, you don't have to suffer, really. I think there should be a deadline of your efforts. You really need to try, because if you're into some play in some place of your life, it's very possible that you can benefit from it. Even in teams within the team which is not the best in your life in terms of transparency, maybe you can find some other benefits. Maybe they're great professionals, maybe you can learn something, maybe you can create something cool in terms of profession. Maybe you will not very happy as a person after you create it, but probably as a professional you will learn some new things, but suffering is optional.
Yeah, that's true. All right, going next, I'd like to touch one last important topic. Is you had this experience, I would say unique product design experience in a large enterprise environment and in a startup environment. So what are the key differences in the role of a product designer between a startup and an enterprise level company?
While I would say that when you work in startup, you change the way you think about the business, because you start thinking about the business and how it works much more. At least I started to think about it much more than you are used to think about it in enterprise. And enterprise, you're kind of chilling, to be honest. You don't have to think about how this money has appeared. It just exists in the air, and you as designer, you are trying to communicate with your software engineers and product managers and these workshops and so on. But when you're in a startup, you really want to know how much money you have because a lot of things depends on it. And when you work in a startup, when I started to work in a startup, I think I started to think in more business way. So when I start doing some task, I want to know why we're doing it, are we focusing on it, why is it important for our business, where are we going, this feature, it's a part of what. And I have a lot of questions. Of course, I want to know something about the conversion and these interface metrics, but I'm also much more interested about the business metrics. And I want to know the strategy. And when I was working in Alpha Bank, it's a large enterprise, a large bank, and there were kind of 40, 60, a lot of designers. It was growing and growing, the design department. I was thinking more about creating this culture inside the company, and I was focusing on it. And now I'm really interested in how it works. I want to know how fintech works. I want to know what the trends are. I want to know what can B2B bring to us. I want to know what super app can bring to the company. I want to know a lot of things, and I want to know how we're startups, how we attracting new users a lot, and we're growing. And I think about the acquisition. I think about the growth mechanics. And when I worked in Alpha Bank, I used to think more about current users and about the instruments which help them to be more satisfied. And now I think about how to attract the user who will remain with you for a long period of time and who you will benefit with. And it's so complex, and it's absolutely it's a new dimension which just appears in your head. And sometimes I think that I was a bit of naive when I was working in an enterprise and had an opportunity not to think about all these things.
Yeah, at the same time, it seems it was like a great experience.
Yes.
We have a couple of questions about different books, online courses, and anything which can help to learn UX and product design. I think we have at least two questions about this. What do you think? Any advice here?
Well, to be honest, I don't believe in books about product design. Maybe I'm kind of old-fashioned or a bit of snob in this question, but I really don't believe in that because everything is changing, and these books, they're outdated practically all the time. So for me, it's better to watch videos from conferences and to attend conferences. For example, Figma conference, and you can watch these videos on YouTube, and a lot of conferences in different countries. You can choose whichever you like, and they're practical speakers who share their real life experience. For me, it's much more valuable. Also, there are some podcasts, again, a lot. Maybe the most famous one is Lenny's podcast, and you can listen to it. It's more about business and for product managers, but as I believe that this skill is going to be very desirable, I suggest listening to something like this. And also, I believe that in modern world, when we talk so much about technologies and processes and I don't know, all these abstract things, it's great to check new visual websites, new creative websites or apps or something new which happens in the design world, or maybe fashion design or architecture or museums, something like this, just to not to forget you're a designer and at least once a week you need to go to Figma, even if you're a very, very senior designer. I believe that sometimes you need to open Figma, and most of us open it much more often. So it's more like this. There are schools like Reforge, for example. There are a lot of courses there, and there are people on LinkedIn which write amazing posts and very interesting and they're insightful. It depends on what you're interested about. For example, last year I was creating onboardings for different products throughout all last year, I guess. And I was reading a lot of posts from people who write about growth and PLG models and all these things. So I was reading them. If you're more about maybe other types of user flows in your products, you will choose other people. But I believe in in people who really create something at the moment. So I don't believe in people who write books about something they have created years ago. I believe about people who can sit at the moment in front of you and say, this is a project, I'm working on it, or I've been working on it for some time, and I just believe in practice in this case.
Yeah, absolutely agree. 100% that practice is the key to get skills because it's very fast. Everything is changing. We don't know what will be happening tomorrow. And the best way to learn is to practice, is start doing something, making mistakes, taking wrong steps. But with all these things we can learn, and we can learn really fast by practice because we can read tons of different books. But when we start doing things in reality, everything depends on our customer, on business, on engineers, product managers, and many other people. And we don't have a direct impact on these people. So we should think about practical experience. And as Natalia mentioned, everywhere on LinkedIn, online, offline conferences, uh, you can simply find it like everywhere. And yeah, Natalia mentioned a podcast. We will share this in the comments on LinkedIn after the stream. Cool. I think we're running out of time, and we can wrap things up with one last question. What is your advice to aspiring product designers?
I think it's a human advice for all professions. Try to replace your ego with curiosity and see what will happen then. That's it.
Yeah, great. Love that. Curiosity. I remember a couple of days ago, weeks ago, I wrote a post about curiosity that as designers, like we're very curious, and maybe this is one of the reasons why we have so many problems that we're trying to solve everything, and that's why we have like a lot of responsibilities, a lot of skills. Maybe because we're too curious, because we want to be like everywhere, we want to know everywhere, like design, engineering, marketing, business, everything. But that's great.
Oh, we don't need to stop. No, we don't need to stop.
Yeah, I think curiosity is the key. We just need to learn how to balance this and where to stop. Like I would say where to pause and where to focus on the main things.
Like,
Cool. I think we have just 1 minute for one more question, if it will appear. And yeah, no questions so far. So thank you, Natalia, for joining. It was super interesting to talk about product design role, about the future, and all of these things. We will reply on some questions in the comments. And if you have like any further questions, feel free to reach out to Natalia, to myself on LinkedIn or ATP List, where we are both mentors, like everywhere. And yeah, great. Thanks for joining.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah. Have a wonderful time. Bye.
Bye.